In today's video, we are resuscitating a European competition back to life. Now, this has been heavily requested by you guys for an extremely long time, so by popular demand, the UEFA Cup Winners Cup returns. So if you're not sure what exactly the UEFA Cup Winners Cup was, because it was abolished in 1999, so 26 years ago, it was basically an annual European club competition for all the domestic cup winners. But because of the expansion of the Champions League and clubs that were finishing second in their league and weren't necessarily champions still qualified for the UCL, the UEFA Cup Winners Cup, it just wasn't needed anymore, and then I believe it merged with the Europa League. My dear old heads, please correct me if I'm wrong, because the UEFA Cup Winners Cup disappeared when I was a young teenager, and I consider myself old. It was a long time ago. So today, yeah, we are reviving the UEFA Cup Winners Cup, and we're going to have a total of 36 different cup winners from so many nations participate. I promise you, this is going to be sick. Now, we are going to have a few small rules for club participation. If a club won their league and the domestic cup in the same year, they do not get to participate. It goes to the next cup winner down. Prime example is club number 1. It is Athletic Club Bilbao. Barcelona won La Liga, but they also won the Copa del Rey, so it goes to the next Copa del Rey winner, which was last year, Athletic Club Bilbao. Palace, it is a simple choice. They won the FA Cup. Bologna won the Coppa Italia. Stuttgart won the Pokal. Now, the same thing applies for Toulouse as it does for Athletic Club Bilbao. PSG won the UCL. They won the Coupe de France. They won the league, so it goes to the next Coupe de France down, which was Toulouse. Go ahead, Eagles won the cup in the Netherlands, the KNVB Cup. Sporting won the league and the cup in Portugal, so the spot goes to last year's cup winner. It is Porto. The Belgian Cup most recent winners is Club Brugge of this year. In Turkey, it's the same thing. Galatasaray won the cup, they won the league, so it goes to the most recent cup winner. It is Besiktas. Wolfsburger this year won the Austrian Cup, so they qualify. While Aberdeen won the Scottish Cup, they qualify. And now the excitement begins. You ready for these random clubs? I don't think you are. Please welcome Sigma Olomouc from Czechia. They are the Czech Cup winners. Shakhtar, the Ukrainian Cup winners. Olympiacos won the Greece Cup and the Greek Super League, so Panathinaikos, last year's Greece Cup winners, they get in. Please give a warm round of applause to Pax or Paxi from Hungary. They are the most recent Hungarian Cup winners. I have never heard of this club ever. From Poland, please welcome the Puchar Polski winners of this year. It's Legia Warszawa. While Czerwena Zvezda won the cup in Serbia. The most recent cup winner from Croatia that was not a league winner at the same time, it is Hajduk Split. The Cyprus Cup was won by AEK Larnaca. Yes, I told you, random clubs. CFR Cluj from Romania. They are the Romanian Cup winners. While the most recent Irish Cup winners, it is Drogheda United. Please welcome your most recent Norwegian Cup winners. It is Fredrikstad. Servette are the most recent Swiss Cup winners that were not league winners at the same time. While the FA Cup in Slovakia was won by FC Spartak Trnava. Yes, please welcome Spartak Trnava. From Azerbaijan, the most recent cup winners, the Azerbaijan Cup that was not Karabag or another team. There was like a second division team that won it. I obviously don't have the second division of Azerbaijani football, so it is FC Shamaki. They qualify, guys. FC Shamaki. We're even gonna have an EFL trophy winner, which is like the cup for League 1 and League 2 in England, and it's Peterborough. Aside from the Scottish Cup and the league in Scotland, there's also the League Cup. Man, there was a lot of research that I had to do to make sure this gets done, guys, and it's Rangers. Rangers won the League Cup. I've never heard of a League Cup in Scotland, but they're the most recent winners. From Sweden, the Swedish Cup, it is BK Häcken. And from Finland, it is Inter Turku. Dude, this is amazing. We also have the latest Danish Cup winners. It is Silkeborg. Now, this is where it starts to get a little bit tricky, guys. I had to do a lot of digging. Obviously, we're going to put the latest Carabao Cup winner, and that is Newcastle. We're also going to put the Portuguese League Cup winner, and that is Benfica. So there is the Portuguese Cup, there is the League, and then there's the League Cup as well, kind of like in Scotland. And after this, I ran into a wall because I was running out of clubs and running out of cups. So the last 4 will be another Coppa Italia winner that was not winning the league at the same time. We have Bologna, and then it was Juventus the year before. After that, it will be yet another Pokal winner in Leipzig. They also won the Pokal, but didn't win the league. Before, Toulouse won the Coupe de France, actually Nantes won the Coupe de France, and they definitely didn't win the league, so they get to qualify. And I really didn't want to put Real Madrid into this competition because they are quite strong, but I had absolutely no choice at this point. They're going to be the 36th club. And that is because in the 22-23 season, they won the Copa del Rey, but they didn't win the league. So my hand was forced, guys. I had absolutely no other choice. So if Real Madrid absolutely dismantles this competition like Chelsea did with the Conference League, please don't blame me. I tried my best. Anyway, moving on. If I remember correctly, the Cup Winners' Cup was actually just an elimination competition. There were no group stage matches. There were no league phase matches. It was just straight knockouts. But we're actually going to do it in the new Champions League format. That means it will have a league phase, it will have knockout playoffs, then two-legged knockouts all the way to the final. If we're bringing back the Cup Winners' Cup, they got to get with the times. Now, quickly, guys, before we go to the end of the league phase and find out who's qualifying and who is not, you can probably see that this took me a while to make. So if you can, please hit the like button for me. I would really appreciate that. And the subscribe button as well with the little noti bell so you don't miss out on any awesome future videos like this on the channel. We try to be as creative as possible here and probably produce some of the most unique FC25 or FIFA football content on YouTube. All right, let's go to the end of the league phase. Let the Cup Winners' Cup begin. The reincarnation of the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup, my friends, is alive and well. The league phase is over. Let's see who are the top 8 clubs that are automatically moving to the round of 16, and then who are the other clubs that will be going into the knockout playoffs. So in first place, and it's already a shocker to me, it's Besiktas. Yep, Besiktas 6-1-1, followed by Newcastle, who went undefeated. Then followed by yet another English side. Very impressive league phase campaign. It is Crystal Palace finishing in third, 5-2-1 on 17 points. Panathinaikos, welcome to the round of 16 of the Cup Winners' Cup. They finished in 4th place. Followed by Benfica. Then it is Juventus. Real Madrid only managed 7th place here. They went 4-3-1 on 15 points. And the last automatic spot, it went to the former German Pokal winners in RB Leipzig, also on 15 points. Now, here comes the interesting part. What clubs are making it to the knockout playoffs to also try and get into the round of 16? It is Porto in 9th, Bologna in 10th, Athletic Club Bilbao in 11th, BK Häcken from Sweden. Amazing. They're in 12th. Shakhtar Donetsk, the Ukrainian Cup champions, they are in 13th. We got the go-ahead Eagles, 14th place. Incredible to see. They're going to be in the playoff. Fredrikstad. What the heck are they doing here? How did they finish top 15? Stuttgart only managed a 16th place finish. Disappointing, I would say, to say the least. Crvena Zvezda from Serbia, solid 17th. 18th, Club Brugge. Expected much higher from the Belgian Cup winners, that is for sure. 19th, it went to Toulouse, the former Coupe de France winners. 20th place, AEK Larnaca from Cyprus. Okay, they scored 11 goals. Somehow, fully deserving, obviously. 20th place finish. 21st, Spartak Trnava from Slovakia? Yes, that's Slovakia. 10 points. 22nd, Cluj from Romania. 23rd, FC Nantes. Also, another former Coupe de France winner. And the last and final spot to get into the knockout playoffs in our Cup Winners' Cup. It will go to Sigma Olomouc from Czechia. Incredible campaign. 2-3-3. They scored 13 goals, conceded 12, a solid 9 points. These are the teams that are not progressing and got automatically eliminated. Hajduk Split, 8 points. Disappointing. FC Shamaki from Azerbaijan. Actually, quite an impressive campaign. 8 points is impressive. Aberdeen, not so impressive. Only on 7 points. Same thing with Servette from Switzerland, man. You can't finish higher than FC Shamaki from Azerbaijan. Rangers. I forgot about Rangers. That is a big L, man. What a fail. A fail of all fails. 29th. Legia Warszawa also expected better, all the way in 30th. Inter Turku from Finland, they're probably where they should be. Pax from Hungary, or Paxi, didn't do so well either. Drogheda United in 33rd. Wolfsberger from Austria, honestly, I thought they would be a little bit higher. 34th is pathetic. 35th went to Silkeborg, and 36th, Peterborough, your EFL trophy winners. They went actually winless. All right, European nights never looked as good. Look at these knockout playoff fixtures, my my friends, in a two-legged affair. It will be Toulouse versus Porto. Sigma Olomouc has to take on Bologna. Cervena Zvezda versus Athletic Club Bilbao. FC Nantes versus BK Häcken from Sweden. Club Brugge versus Shakhtar Donetsk. Cluj versus Go Ahead Eagles. Spartak Trnava versus Fredrikstad. One of those clubs is going to be in the last 16 somehow. And then you got Larnaca from Cyprus traveling to play Stuttgart in Germany and vice versa. Honestly, guys, just by the draw of these knockout playoff fixtures, let's bring the Cup Winners Cup. Who doesn't want to see FC Nantes versus BK Häcken? Well, let's begin finding the 8 clubs that will also go into the round of 16 of our UEFA Cup Winners Cup. It is leg 1, Toulouse versus Porto, and Porto takes the lead. 3-2. Bologna versus Sigma Olomouc, a matchup of all matchups, and Sigma is at home to begin. Bro, and Sigma beats Bologna at home. Red Star versus Athletic Club Bilbao at the Rajko Mitic Stadium, leg 1, and it will go to Red Star. They beat Bilbao. Leg 1 knockout playoff number 4, Nantes versus BK Häcken. Who takes the lead? It's 1-1. Club Brugge versus Shakhtar is a very interesting matchup. Two very capable sides, and Shakhtar upset in Belgium. Your Romanian Cup winners in Cluj versus your Dutch Cup winners in Go Ahead Eagles, leg 1, and it will go to the Go Ahead Eagles narrowly. Right here, match of the week, Spartak Trnava versus Fredrikstad, leg 1, 1-1. And our final knockout playoff, leg 1, between Larnaca from Cyprus versus Stuttgart from Germany. Man, okay, it's still competitive. It's 2-1. This is it. Leg 2s of our knockout playoff fixtures, my friends. Bruges is down 1-0 at the Donbass Arena in Ukraine. They have to win in Ukraine, and they can't win on you in Ukraine. Club Bruges is eliminated, and Shakhtar Donetsk is in the last 16. Very early exit and a very disappointing exit for Club Bruges here. Can the Go Ahead Eagles go ahead into the round of 16, or will it be Club Bruges? Well, they are up 2-1. Oh my gosh! What happened? This is a disappointment of all disappointments. Go Ahead Eagles. This is a bottle job of all bottle jobs. You guys scored first. You were up 3-1 on aggregate in the 49th minute, and then you let Cluj into the game in the 57th. In the 84th, they made it 3-3 on aggregate. It went to penalties, and Go Ahead Eagles missed 3 pens, and they're out. Cluj from Romania with a miraculous comeback here. Fredrikstad versus Spartak Trnava, 1-1 on aggregate for a spot in the last 16 of the Cup Winners Cup, and it will go to Spartak Trnava. Will Stuttgart hold on against AEK Larnaca from Cyprus at home? Can they hold on? Yes, they can, but it was very, very close. Larnaca put up a good fight, but Stuttgart is just a little bit better. Porto has a narrow lead on Toulouse, 3-2 on aggregate heading into leg 2, and Porto is at home, and they should be winning this one. Yeah, no mistake at home. 3-0, 6-2 on aggregate. That's the end of the road for Toulouse. Now, this right here, my friends, could become an upset of all upsets. Bologna is down 3-2 on aggregate to Sigma, I believe from the Czech Republic, Czechia, but Bologna is at home. Will they be able to amount a comeback? Brother. How does this happen? Bologna, man, what's going on? It's absolutely horrendous from Bologna. They tied it up on aggregate in the 15th minute. Then in the 61st, they went up on aggregate, but Sip in the 62nd, only a minute later, tied it up on aggregate again. Bologna in the 82nd minute, they went up on aggregate once again by 1. But then with only 2 minutes remaining, Sip for Sigma tied it up again. It went to extra time, and Dolzhnikov in the 96th, I don't know, 6-5 on aggregate for Sigma Olomouc. Bologna, the Coppa Italia winners, are eliminated. Will Cervena Zvezda also be able to hold on against Athletic Club Bilbao? But it is at the San Mamés. Athletic Club Bilbao looking strong. Not strong enough, brother. The same thing happened. Athletic Club Bilbao tied it up in the 2nd minute on aggregate. Sunset gave them the lead. Olainka in the 85th tied it up on aggregate again. And then in the 96th, Slivic, I've never heard of him before, but he is apparently the hero now. What is with these upsets in our Cup Winners Cup in this video, man? This is insane. Also, don't forget that BK Häcken is tied on aggregate with FC Nantes, and BK Häcken is at home in the 2nd leg, and it will go to FC Nantes. Finally, I guess the stronger team prevails. We are down to our last 16, my friends. These matchups, I mean, they are just getting better and better every single round. Sigma Olomouc versus Newcastle United. Newcastle's got to travel to Czechia and vice versa. Sigma's coming to play at St. James's Park. Then we got Cluj from Romania versus Crystal Palace. Nantes versus Real Madrid. Oh my goodness. Spartak Trnava versus Benfica. Porto versus Panathinaikos. That is a big one. Shakhtar versus Leipzig. Also a big one. Crvena Zvezda versus Besiktas. And then Stuttgart versus Juve. Samu from Porto is just on absolute fire. He's got 14 goals in 10 appearances. 16 clubs remain. The beginning of leg 1 of the round of 16. Sigma versus Newcastle United in Czech Republic. Leg 1, 4-3. Wow, what a scoreline. And Sigma is somehow still alive, but they gotta win in England. Cluj caused a massive upset in the playoffs to get here, but now they gotta face Crystal Palace in leg 1, and it's a narrow win for Crystal Palace. If Nantes has any chance of winning against Real Madrid, they have to make it count at home as usual, and they are at home in leg 1. This is a massive... Oh my goodness. I mean, I guess they're still alive, but they let in 4 at home against Real Madrid. I think going back to Spain is going to be even worse. Spartak Trnava versus Benfica. I mean, what a matchup. It's as good as it gets, my friends. Imagine the scenes. You know what, man? 2-2. They're still alive. Spartak Trnava survives leg 1. Here, I have absolutely no clue who is the favorite. Is it Porto? Is it Panathinaikos? Samo, as we saw, he's on absolute fire, though. Maybe he can score a couple more. Did he score? No, he didn't score, and it ended in a draw. Probably would have to say that Leipzig are the favorites against Shakhtar, but at the Donbass Arena in leg 1, maybe Shakhtar can make it count. 1-1 going back to Germany. Crvena Zvezda versus first place Besiktas, who had an incredible league phase campaign. They went 6-1-1, as you remember. But Crvena Zvezda is at home in leg 1. And you know what? When you come to Serbia, maybe some magic will happen. And here you go. Crvena Zvezda take the lead against Besiktas. It'll be a very disappointing campaign for one of these clubs. Stuttgart versus Juve. But hey, one of them has to go home. And leg 1, it will go to Juve, and they are in control. Here we go. The round of 16. Leg 2 matchups begin. Panathinaikos against Porto. In Portugal, it was a draw, so Panathinaikos is at home. Can they perform at home? My goodness, they disappoint at home, and Panathinaikos is out. And Porto, through Samu again, they move on. They're in the quarterfinals. Expected better from Panathinaikos, man. Leipzig versus Shakhtar at the Red Bull Arena in Germany, where Leipzig is obviously the clear favorite here. Oh, the Cup Winners Cup, man. This is what happens. Baumgartner and Openda, they both miss penalties. Unbelievable. Shakhtar Donetsk upsets RB Leipzig away, and they are in the quarters. We are seeing some wonderful things happen here so far, guys. Crvena Zvezda is up 2-1. Going back to Turkey, though, on Besiktas, where they could be very, very deadly. Can they come back? They can't. They can't. Besiktas are first seed. First seed is out, man. They had such an incredible league phase, only to lose to Crvena Zvezda in the round of 16. Juventus is in prime position to advance here. They are at home in their own stadium, and they're up by 1 on aggregate, 3-2, and it should be pretty standard. There it is. 5-2 for Juve on aggregate. Unfortunately, Stuttgart, just like Leipzig, eliminated, man. Disappointing from the German clubs. One of the biggest matchups in world football, my friends. It is Newcastle versus Sigma Olomouc from Czechia. St. James's Park. 4-3 on aggregate for Newcastle United. 3-2-1. What will happen there? It will be a 3-1 scoreline and 7-4 on aggregate for Newcastle United. But, you know, we gotta give it to Sigma, man. They performed extremely well. Who expected Sigma to be in the last 16? 2-1 on aggregate for Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park, also in prime position to advance. Romanian Cluj is in town to try and cause an upset, but they cannot. They lose 4-2 on aggregate to Palace. Just like Sigma, though, very, very good performance by Cluj. Very, very impressive, I would say. Losing 2-1 and then 2-1 both times to Palace, it's a pretty decent achievement. I think this one is over. Madrid has a 2-goal lead on Nantes, and Madrid is at home. Yeah, it's definitely over, yes. 3-0, 7-2 on aggregate. Nantes is out. Somehow, Spartak Trnava earned a draw against Benfica at home, but now they have to travel to Portugal and get a win there. Can they actually... Isn't Benfica cursed, guys? I think they just hit a new low. They lost to Spartak Trnava from Slovakia. So we only got 8 clubs that remain in our UEFA Cup Winners Cup, and the way that these matchups worked out, it makes things extremely weird. First of all, we got Spartak Trnava. Because they beat Benfica, they have to face Shakhtar Donetsk, which means that either Shakhtar or Spartak Trnava will be in the semifinals. But then we'll also be guaranteed one English club in the semifinals because Palace has to take on Newcastle. It will be Porto versus Juve. One of them will be in the semifinals, and Crvena Zvezda got absolutely screwed once again. They have to face Real Madrid. The greatest quarterfinal matchup we've ever seen. Leg 1, Spartak Trnava from Slovakia versus Shakhtar Donetsk from Ukraine. Spartak Trnava is at home, but they narrowly lose at home, and they gotta win in Ukraine. But man, they won in Portugal, so maybe they could win in Ukraine too. Who even knows at this point? An all-English quarterfinal, Palace versus Newcastle United. Leg 1 is at Selhurst Park. Leg 1, it will go to 3-3 going back to Newcastle. Leg 1 is in Portugal between Porto and Juve, and I think Porto needs to win at home if they have any opportunity. It actually ends 0-0, and Cube Miners missed a penalty for Juventus. I wonder if that will be important. It seems like Real Madrid has the easiest path so far to get to the last 4. Here they have to face Crvena Zvezda, Red Star from Serbia in leg 1, and it is at home. It ends 1-1. This is a surprise. Maybe, just maybe, Red Star can pull it off back at home. They only had 38% possession and 2 shots for a spot in the Cup Winners Cup semifinals. It is Juve versus Porto, and it is back in Italy. 0-0 on aggregate. The first club that will go there, it's an upset. Juventus, what did you do? You were up through Conceição, then Pepe equalized, and then in extra time, it's Moura. It's Porto that get in, and Juventus is eliminated. What are the chances of Red Star winning at home against Real Madrid and eliminating them? They earned themselves a 1-1 aggregate scoreline going into this match. 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh, they lost on penalties! They lost on penalties! It was so close! Shakhtar versus Spartak Trnava at the Donbass Arena. Can Spartak Trnava make the comeback here? No. Shakhtar Donetsk in the semifinals, but Spartak Trnava, how did you make it this far? My hat goes off to you. Seriously. Editor, play some clapping sounds for Spartak Trnava here. Just an incredible run. A very important leg 2 between Newcastle and Crystal Palace. One of them will be in the Cup Winners' Cup semi-finals, and it will go to Newcastle. Lose. Mateta and Hughes. Crystal Palace is performing. Crystal Palace is incredible. An unbelievable run by Palace here. 4 clubs remain in our UEFA Cup Winners' Cup. Real Madrid, we said they're probably going to get here, but you know what? It hasn't been as easy, especially that matchup against Crvena Zvezda. Now, though, they got a bigger task. They got to play Crystal Palace. Can Crystal Palace do the unthinkable in a 2-legged affair against Real Madrid and send them home? And then the second semifinal, it is Porto versus, you know what? We got to say that Shakhtar Donetsk run has also been nothing short of miraculous. They've kind of flown under the radar here and made it to the semifinals. Okay, semifinals, leg 1 between Real Madrid and Crystal Palace in Spain. A spot in the final of the Cup Winners' Cup awaits, my friends. And leg 1, it will go to Real Madrid 4-2. And now leg 1 in Portugal between Porto and Shakhtar Donetsk. And leg 1 here, it will go to Shakhtar Donetsk. Sudakov, Bondarenko. 3-1. We are on the verge of seeing Shakhtar Donetsk make it to the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup final here, guys. Out of 36 Cup winners. Shakhtar. Yes, Shakhtar Donetsk. 3-1 on aggregate against Porto. An upset is in the making here. If they can just survive, my goodness. they definitely gave their fans a heart attack. That is for sure. 3 goals in extra time. 2 from Shakhtar, 1 from Porto. Porto almost made it happen. They almost came back. They did come back, but it wasn't good enough. They still lost. They lost. Pedro Henrique in the 110th minute sends Shakhtar Donetsk to the UEFA Cup Winners Cup final. Which club will be joining Shakhtar in the final? Will it be Palace or will it be Real Madrid? Palace is at home, but they're down by 2, man. I don't know. Yikes. 8-4 for Real Madrid. Palace scored 4 goals, which is very impressive against Real Madrid in 2 matches, but they led in 8. A great run nonetheless, but defensively, it just wasn't there for Palace. We brought the UEFA Cup Winners Cup back to life, my friends, and the stage is set in the final. It is Real Madrid versus Shakhtar Donetsk from Ukraine. Shakhtar will start with the ball in this absolutely legendary final. They are in the orange, and Real Madrid are in the white kits. And Kevin for Shakhtar Donetsk is going forward. Yeah, like we talked about in the beginning, we said that Real Madrid might run away with this competition, and them being in the final is definitely no surprise. As Shakhtar puts the ball into the box, and they're going to actually recover through Kevin. Sudakov, who's been very influential so far. Kevin. Who is Kevin? Bondarenko. Shot. Bondarenko also has been very, very good. It's intercepted, and Real Madrid will collect the ball. So while Real Madrid was expected to get this deep, as we talked in the beginning, I'm not sure about Shakhtar Donetsk, guys. It's been a very, very impressive and quiet run by them. Yet here they are. Cover Mbappe, though. You gotta cover Mbappe. You gotta cover Vinny. Riznik, what a save. Point blank. 13th minute, a corner for Real Madrid. Militao puts it high. The first couple of opportunities are coming Real Madrid's way. Riznik wasn't getting there, but it's just over the bar. We had several fairy tale story runs in this competition. Spartak Trnava, Sigma, Červena Zvezda took Real Madrid the distance. And then there was Shakhtar Donetsk. A wonderful story of this Ukrainian club. Look at them go forward. Cannot get by Carvajal, though. Danny Carvajal, a clutch player. Vinny collects it. 1 touch to Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe looking for a big trophy. Mbappe! Riznik. Great opportunity. Very creative from Kylian there, but too close to the goalkeeper. 23 minutes in, and yeah, Real Madrid does seem like they are the better side so far. Definitely seem like the better side. A very, very silly giveaway in the midfield by Shakhtar Donetsk. And it's Real Madrid pacing forward once again. Tchouaméni. Bellingham has joined the attack as well. Bellingham. Valverde. It'll go central to Tchouaméni. Kylian Mbappe. The back 4 is in place. 4. Shakhtar, another save by Riznik. He's kept them in the game. 32 minutes in. He's definitely kept them in the game so far to try and give Shakhtar Donetsk a chance here. Another save by Riznik. A wonderful performance so far. A clinic. He's putting on a show. If Shakhtar Donetsk can somehow pull off this miracle, then we will talk about Riznik for years to come and his performance here. Chris Kiv for Shakhtar out wide. They're playing a lot through Kevin here on this left side. He's taking on Carvajal. He'll put it inside in the box. Sudakov. Sikan! Courtois now has to be sharp. He responds. Shakhtar should have a goal. Maybe they could still get a goal before halftime. We're in the 43rd and they have the corner after that save. Tchouaméni will get it out. It'll bounce friendly. Bondarenko. Back to Kevin it goes. Stoppage time. Sudakov. Sikan again. It's deflected and Courtois has to make a diving save. What a response here in later stages of the first half by Shakhtar Donetsk. But it stays 0-0. Obviously, you guys can see that it says UEFA Super Cup. I obviously don't have a Cup Winners Cup thing, you know, the graphics and stuff, because it doesn't exist. So we're using the Super Cup. Close enough. As Shakhtar intercepts the ball early here in the second half. Let's see if they can be a little bit better defensively, because they allowed a lot of opportunities for Real Madrid in the first 45, and Real Madrid probably should have made them pay. If it wasn't for Riznik, like we said, Real Madrid should have scored. But Sudakov and Shakhtar look promising here. The scramble. Courtois sharp again. We got a game on our hands, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. We definitely got a final on our hands. Bellingham, they're not afraid of the challenge, Shakhtar Donetsk. Vinny Jr., Kylian Mbappe here. Valverde, great passing. Oh my goodness, a touch of magic from the English international, Jude Bellingham. Unbelievable. And the classy celebration as well by Real Madrid. They gave him too much space. Didn't close down fast enough. Riznik looked a little bit out of position there, to be honest with you. He was kind of leaning towards the left side. Even when he dove, he couldn't reach it. Kevin once again. A lot has been going through Kevin. He'll put it in the box. Is that Sikan? Yes, it is. Touches it down nicely to Sudakov. What a response that is! What a response! Instantaneous response from Shakhtar Donetsk. Who saw that coming? Not me, not you. One touch. Sikan, have a bow, man. Oh my! Brilliant! 1-1. Holy moly! Guacamole. Maybe next goal wins because it is getting late. 75th. Valverde, Bellingham, again from distance, bounces friendly. Again, Riznik comes out and collects it. It was close. They surrounded Bellingham this time. Didn't let him get the rebound. Kevin tries to take on Militao, get the ball by Militao, but he can't. Militao, he's got him cornered though. Eder Militao, where to go? Eder, what are you doing there? Okay. It's going to be a goal kick. He knows exactly what he's doing. Now we're making substitutions. Endrick is coming on for Vinny Jr. Okay. And Kriskiv is off for... Who's coming on for? Stepanenko is coming on. That's it. It's going to extra time. Extra time is on the cards. Extra time, extra time. Here we go. 15 minutes and then another 15 and then maybe penalties. Ceballos came on for Valverde. More fresh legs. And Nazarina came on for Sudakov. Nazarina out wide to Kevin. Kevin... Still holding on to the ball. Drifts midfield. Nazarina from distance. It's blocked simply by Tchouaméni and he'll play it back to Courtois. Bondarenko. Stepanenko. Dangerous from Shakhtar here. Controlling the ball, but they're going to run out of time in the first half. Another 15 to go. 15 more or it's penalties. And you know what, guys? Bring back the Cup Winners Cup. I don't know. Make it something cool. Maybe like the winner of the Cup Winners Cup and like the finalists or something qualify for the Champions League or something. I don't know. Or the Club World Cup or something, you know? I think it would be cool to bring this competition back. I'd like to see these random clubs that win cup competitions. As a shot comes in and Riznik has to be saved. Have to be sharp, sorry. Yeah, all these random clubs competing against each other would be super cool that won domestic cups in their own domestic leagues, obviously. It just, we would have matchups that we haven't seen in a long time. Zubkov going forward for Shakhtar. 5 minutes left. They're going to have a throw-in. Zubkov with the throw-in. Imagine if Shakhtar score here, guys. Kanaplia. Drifting in line. Loses the ball. Oh, my. Oh, my. And this could be the last opportunity. It's Mbappe on the ball. Backheels it to Bellingham. It's getting late. Very late now. Definitely last attack before penalties. Bellingham. Are we seeing super, super late drama here? The ref is letting him play. Referee! Riznik will come out. No, this is it. We are going to penalties in our UEFA Cup Winners Cup finale. Who goes first? It's Mbappe that goes first against Riznik. He's been good, and Mbappe makes no mistake. 1-0 Real Madrid. Sikan, the goal scorer for Shakhtar. He'll also score. 1-1. Endrick against Riznik. He makes it 2-1. 2-1 Madrid. Zubkov. Can he answer? Yes, he can. 2-2. Camavinga. Riznik. 3-2 Real Madrid. Maybe Riznik should have had that one. Bondarenko against Courtois. It is saved by Thibaut Courtois. And Real Madrid with the advantage. Bellingham gives Real Madrid the lead. 4-2. And now Shakhtar has to score to keep themselves alive. Nazarina the substitute. He will score. That's a brilliant penalty. It all comes down to this. Riznik needs to make the save. Is that Ceballos? It is Ceballos. Ceballos versus Riznik. He will not save it. He will not save it. And Real Madrid does win the UEFA Cup Winners Cup, my friends. Červena Zvezda took Real Madrid the distance. Shakhtar Donetsk took Real Madrid the distance as well. But ultimately, Real Madrid were the favorites from the beginning, as we talked about it, and they turned out to be the winners of the UEFA Cup Winners Cup. I'm sorry if you're a little bit disappointed. Maybe they shouldn't have been in this competition. We put them in here because they won the Copa del Rey a few years ago. But you know what? It turned out pretty well. I think the video still was a success, and the entire competition was a success as well. We saw wonderful fairy tale runs, we saw clubs being upset, and we saw a heavyweight giant lift the trophy. Congratulations to Shakhtar Donetsk making it all the way to the final. If you have any other cool ideas that you'd like to see on the channel, please comment them down below and let me know how you thought this Cup Winners Cup turned out. Take care of yourselves, guys. Take care of each other. Stay happy, stay healthy. Always keep smiling, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, peace, 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 peace. Love you as always. Peace.